Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another cooking video. I keep getting asked to do more cooking videos and the wife's away at Blackpool for a weekend to some Christmas market, so I've got full run of the kitchen, and as long as I leave it tidy, she's not bothered what I do. Today I'm going to make some Cornish pasties. Well, they're not Cornish pasties because I'm not in Cornwall, but they're my take on a Cornish pasty. It's cold, horrible outside. This is nice, hearty, warming food, proper food. Let's have a look. I'll show you the ingredients, then we'll carry on and see if we can get them made. These are the ingredients. I've got some ready-made short crust pastry. I know it's cheating. I don't make my own steel when I'm building things, so I'm going to use that. I've got an egg for washing. I've got some butter. I've got a potato. I've got a turnip, and I've got a leek. Normally you use onion, but I haven't got one and I prefer leek anyway. I've got a bit of steak here. It's actually a bit of sirloin steak. I bought two for my tea last night and it wasn't really that good. So I'm going to cut that up and use that sirloin steak in the pasties. Might be a bit extravagant, I know, but that's what I want to do. First thing we'll do is prepare the vegetables, and then we'll just crack on and see if we can have a laugh, see what we can get done. First thing I want to do is prepare the leek. I like to cut it lengthways. I'll give it a wash and then we'll slice it up. You sometimes get little bits of soil down the side of the leaves, and basically where I come from, they're not called leaves, they're called flags, and believe it or not, these are grown to a huge size and they're shown in a vegetable show or a leek show. I've got some photographs of leek shows because I used to be a leek grower. I'll put one or two of them. We'll give this a quick rinse under some cold water, then I'll be back. Right, so it's all washed nice and clean. Discard that loose flag. This one's cutting up into sort of 10mm strips. The leek isn't as critical as the turnip is for the size. You cut them up to make sure they get fully cooked in the oven. As far as quantities go, I'm just using what I've got or what I think will work out about right. And I think that's probably enough onion, not onion, leek. See the way it makes nice little bits. Ideal. That goes into a mixing bowl. Right, next thing, potato. I've got a potato peeler here. I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. It just does the job. I do like tools that do the job properly. Really simple. No batteries to go flat. Well, the potato will cook quicker than the turnip, so we'll basically need to make the cubes of potato bigger. I'm going to go for 15mm. Right, start off. Right, so 115mm. I mean, it's not super critical. Anything between sort of 12 and 18 will do, but 15 is the ideal size. Get one more off there. Now there's a waterproof vernier as well, which is quite important when you're working with damp vegetables. Right, so they're the bits we're going to use. Them bits we'll probably use for fritters later on. Right, so now we need to cut them sort of 15mm that way as well. We can mark it quite easily. Right, and then 15 the other way. Now what we can do, we can use one of those as a gauge. And they're approximately 15mm cubes of potato. That one is 18, 15, 16, absolutely spot on. Right, we'll get them all done like that and then we'll concentrate on the turnip. Right, we've got a decent sized turnip here. We'll cut it in half, we'll not even need all of this. Take the end off. Take the top off. and we need the skin taken off. There's several ways of doing this. I'm going to cut this into 10mm wide strips. So we can use that as a guide. Doesn't matter if you damage them. Bastard. Right, the way I do it is little vegetable knife and just trim the skin off like that. So the turnip takes longer to cook, so it needs to be slightly smaller than the potatoes. So what, 10mm? I can guess 10mm to within probably a couple of tenths of a mil actually. That's the sort of size you need, and they'll cook quite nicely. Right, I'm sure you get the idea. We'll carry on and get the turnip prepared. Right, we'll have a random measure, 12 by 11 by 10. Near enough. This needs seasoning with salt and pepper, but I'm not going to do that now because the salt, it'll be absorbed into the vegetables. I'll season them just before we actually put them into the pastry casings. As I have said, this is sirloin steak. It wasn't a particularly good cut, but it'll be ideal for the pasties. And we need to cut this into sort of thin strips. I'm probably talking 4 to 5mm strips. And we'll take that bit of fat off the back actually. Right, oh John. Right, then they'll be cut into half, so we've got nice little bits of steak, probably 20mm by 25. I'll carry on cutting them up and then we'll come back. Right, we've got a nice clean bench. I'm going to put a little bit of flour down, so things don't stick. It's a bit like using baking powder casting, I think, that sort of idea, right, like that. The pastry's been like in sort of a warm kitchen for a while because it does come sort of refrigerated, and it is very brittle when it's in a refrigerated state. You can see it's still trying to crack. Now I'm going to make 4 pasties and I need to get 4 circles that size. You can see the pastry isn't big enough, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a stretch. To stretch a pastry we use a rolling pin. The last time we did pastry, I used a slip gauge to get the thickness, and we went for 4mm. We're going to try and get the same sort of thickness on this. Not quite 2 yet, but it's getting there. Right, we'll get 2 out of that, I think, just about. Fanny's hair more. The big pasties. Only our little weedy things here. Right. Carefully trim round, cut it out. There's 1. Just going to get the 2, which is all we need. This pastry won't be wasted. I'll probably make some little cheese tournament or something with it. Okay, so we've got 2 circles ready for the filling. Before we fill the pasties, we're going to season this. I haven't put the meat in yet. I'm going to put the meat in separate so each pasty gets the same amount of meat. Right, first thing is salt. A decent pinch of salt, probably a teaspoonful. And then black pepper. A good grind of black pepper. I do like a peppery pasty. Right, that's all mixed up. We're trying to escape there, but we managed to catch the bastard. Right, so we need to put the filling in, a decent amount, a decent handful, off to one side, like that. That's probably enough. Smell the pepper, it's lovely, it smells nice. Right, I'm going to separate the steak into 4 even sort of piles. The last one of these I'm going to make special, I'm going to put a special ingredient in for myself. Right, that looks pretty good. Come on, trying not to play this, but it will play in the end. Right, next thing is egg wash. We'll put some around the edges just to make sure we get a good seal. Right, and then carefully, the plan is to sort of roll it over like that, close the pasty up. I maybe got too much filled in this bastard. I think I have actually, but we'll go with what we've got. Yeah, I've got too much filling in. I can't really get the crimp on I need, but we'll carry on with it. Yeah, the idea is to kind of roll the edge over. It has like a plaited sort of finish when you see a proper one, but I'm only a mechanic, it pisses about. I heard a rumour that the idea of the crust on the pasty is so the Cornish miners had something to hold on to with their dirty hands when they were down the pit. So I heard. I did make a pasty a while ago what's called a miner's pasty, and it was like this, but the one end had jam in it. So you had your meal and some jam. Right, we've made a little bit of a balls of that, so all I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and do a repair. Put a little patch along there like that. Like I say, it's not going to be beautiful, but it's going to be tasty. Right, so we'll take some filling out of that one and see if we can get a better crimp on it. But that will nevertheless do the job. Right, so we'll take a little bit of this filling out, not the meat, just the veg. That looks better. Right, so we can get a better fold on this one. It's better. It's not right, but it's better. Right, so this one's got less filling in. The process of transferring them onto the baking tray went well because I turned the camera off. Right, plenty space. Egg wash, gives them a lovely golden glaze. He's going to preheat oven 165 degrees for about 45-50 minutes until they're cooked, until they're golden brown. Right, little ventilation hole. And it's into the oven. The last pasty is going to be a little bit special. I'm going to put some curry powder into it, because I like curry. Some mild curry powder, level teaspoonful into there. Mix that all together. There's a bit more meat in this one as well, because this one's mine. Right. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of butter into it. I'm going to put quite a lot of butter into it actually. Right. Some nice salted butter. That'll give it a little bit more moisture. Here, so this is a special one, this one's mine. Yeah, it's better, definitely better. We can get a bit better crimp on this one now. I was just putting too much ingredients in the first two. Right, we'll clear things out a little bit and I'll show you what I'm going to do with a little bit of spare pastry we've got. Flour stops it from sticking. Like I say, it's just like parting powder when you're casting. You put the parting powder on the pattern and it stops the sand from sticking to it. Exactly the same principle, I suppose. Shit of Australia, look. Right, I'm going to make a couple of bacon turnovers. Sort of like that. A little bit of egg wash might be beneficial. I'm starting getting messy now, isn't it? Oh God. Believe it or not, these are absolutely wonderful. Hardly health food, but here we are. Right, there's one. Right, those pasties look ready to make. We'll put them onto a rack to dry, or to cool down rather. It's tempting to cut one open now, but you might as well let them. Yeah, they're definitely cooked. Definitely cooked. We'll let them cool down. I'll put the other stuff in and then we'll come back for the tasting. The bacon turnovers have cooked and the other pasties are doing quite well. I'm going to cut these pasties open now and have a look. These are the first two were cooked and they've cooled down to a sensible temperature. Right, the moment of truth. Look at that. That looks absolutely amazing. Nice and moist. Definitely well cooked through. Now for the tasting. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and bon appetit, bonny lad. Yep. That is definitely the dog's bollocks. Lovely.